Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview covering VCT America Stage 2. For this occasion, I'm here accompanied once again by Cryo of 100 Thieves, who are coming off of a victory over MIBR. And as I said before, thank you so much, Cryo, for another interview. Um, Taking down MIBR. Last year, it's a vastly different story compared to how it was last year in that encounter. Just sort of now, coming off with a W. How are you feeling?
Feels pretty good. It's our first win this split, so definitely going in the right direction after our two losses.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what was the team's sort of mindset, given the fact that you were coming off of two straight losses to Furia and Leviathan, respectively? How were you guys able to move on from that to focusing on MIBR? I mean, sure, MIBR is a pretty on paper weak team compared to you guys, but still, I ask.
That's pretty much what it is. MIBR is a much weaker team than our last two opponents. And, at this point, we're just trying to cling to get playoffs. So I think this one is pretty important. Everyone kind of knew that. So I think we all just kind of showed up today.
What do you think was the biggest challenge, if any, that MIBR showed to you guys in that series overall?
I think MIBR on Icebox, they try to abuse mid a lot, but we were kind of like extra attentive of our mid, so we kind of shut them down, especially Dan or EU and Boosty. I think we kind of shut down like all of their mid lurks, their mid inserts. I think any sort of insert they try to do, we kind of shut them down. But I think if they did that against like us like 2 weeks ago or something, it probably would have been a lot better. But we've been working a lot on it, so props to them.
What about your thoughts on how Split played out? Was it sort of just a copy paste type of thing with them, or was it also like just sort of them presenting different kind of obstacles to you guys in that map?
I don't really know, to be honest. I was just chilling on B site. My team kind of killed them all, especially Dan on the second map.
For sure, 26 kills, 5 deaths. I mean, how good was EU to on that map?
Sorry.
How good was EU on that map? Individually speaking.
I mean, he's really good on the map. He loves Split, especially when he's on Fade. I think any map he's on Fade, he's pretty comfortable, and he likes to take a lot of fights.
For sure, and yeah, as I said, as a result of winning against MIPR, you guys are able to bounce back off of a rough, slow start in the regular season of Stage 2. And talking about those two matches, just want to ask about what was your view on how the team struggled against the likes of Furia and Leviathan. Leviathan, of course, strong team, but Furia not as much, relatively speaking. So, what was your view on just how the team performed in those first two matches in the regular season?
I think just like any team, problems will come up at any point. I think we learn something about ourselves like after every match, after every day that comes forward. Always something new will pop up, and we just have to take the time to like directly address it and like openly talk about it within the team. And that's something that I admire much about this roster, is we're willing to like openly discuss our problems to each other, and it's not in a hateful way, or no one takes it as like a hateful way or anything. We all have the mindset that we're all just trying to improve. At the end of the day, we're just trying to win, and we just want to improve, and that's all.
More sort of the same question, but mostly directed to you. What was your view on your individual form at the same time frame of those first two matches? How do you kind of view your individual form? Be it good or bad or somewhere in the middle.
I mean, I think I played okay, but it's really hard. It's hard to play well when you're just getting shut down, like really hard, especially on especially on our Haven match against Lev. We were down like 2-10 or something. Yeah, we were just getting like hard shut down. So, I mean, it's hard for anyone to like really play well at that point. Well, I mean, there's only like a few handful of players that can really like still really hold good form or have like a good performance, but if they're getting shut down. It just doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So yeah, it felt like an overall just team problem that just needed to be addressed.
As a result of you guys winning stage one, obviously you guys went over to Masters and play a lot more matches there, and then as a result of that, other teams within the league was able to just observe you guys and then come up with strategies against you guys. Amidst that kind of dynamic, how much of a challenge did that pose to you guys? You know, on top of just having to deal with the issues, aforementioned issues, in that same time frame.
I'm not sure if I completely understood your question, but I think I'm not sure if you're alluding to this, but I think teams definitely had a lot of footage on us because we also went to Shanghai, so there's a lot more VODs, a lot more footage on us. So it's a lot more naturally. It's a lot more easier to counter what we're doing, especially because we didn't have a whole lot of time to change a lot of things. So our set like executes or our defaults, it'll run into more problems. Like it ran into more problems as the split started and we started playing more games, but not really much we can do about it. We just kind of have to like adapt in the moment.
What do you think was the biggest adjustment, you know, in server wise, that the team had to make amidst or turning over from end of Masters to now? You know, even at the current moment in time, you know, what was the biggest adjustment that the team made in combating those kinds of issues and obstacles and stuff?
I think we just had to change our overall like how we work the map and how we play our T side. I think that was our biggest change, and I think micro wise, how we play team fights, we just have to play like a lot slower in our team fights. We can't really like over peak or anything. I think those are the two biggest changes that we did.
Given the fact that you are mostly the main duelist of the team, I want to ask about how you kind of been dealing with the changes to the game on top of everything that I've been asking you about in this interview. You mostly been kind of residing in Jet on top of other, you know, controller agents in other maps, you know, that in which you're normally more present in. How you kind of been dealing with the changes of the game from your point of view, you know, with other people playing Neon and stuff like that. So how are you able to adjust to that?
We tried experimenting with other duelists, but to be honest, we felt like just Raze and Jet were still like the most consistent. I'm sure teams could like really fit in Neon if they really wanted to, but we felt like it wasn't like the most consistent. So not really much changed, to be honest. We tried experimenting, but we didn't like it.
Do you ever see yourself playing like Neon in the future?
Probably. I'm not sure about this roster, but could be.
Sure. Now moving on over to just the future. 2 more matches for this team, EG and Loud. What are your overall impressions of those two teams and how they kind of stack up against you guys?
EG and Loud are both very good teams. Loud obviously have a really good core, and they've always been players that I've respected in the scene. And EG's been playing really well recently. Yeah, they're both two really tough opponents, and you know I think us three are kind of like fighting for like some of these last playoff spots. So it'll be a good game.
As you said, you know, you guys are in a dogfight for the last few places in playoffs, you know, from like 4th to 6th and stuff like that. I mean, what do you feel is the biggest obstacle that is facing the team just from trying to snatch a spot in playoffs while also trying to fend off the likes of, you know, Cloud9, EG, and then Loud and everyone else?
You said what's the biggest obstacle?
Yeah.
I guess Loud and EG. I don't know. They're the last two teams we have to play.
For sure. One more question, more so. I already asked this to a few other teammates of yours, either like today, and even before that, in stage 2, where you kind of see the current level of 100 Thieves in relation to how you guys performed in stage 1 and also in Master. From your point of view, where do you kind of see the level at?
I think comparison to stage 1, we're probably like right now we're probably like half the team, to be honest. I think our peak was a lot higher than where it is right now. So it's just about being in form at the right time. I think it's the most important for teams competing, to be honest.
I understand that. Hopefully, you guys are able to do that. And that's it. I'm going to wrap up the interview right here. Cryo, thank you so much once again for another interview. Really appreciate it. And of course, best of luck goes to you moving forward.
Thank you.